I can't believe y'all got me in the middle of Brazil coming over here to talk to you about Malik Joseph, of all people. Nico, hola, buenos días, soy Nico.
Excuse me! Excuse me! Excuse me! Excuse me! Excuse me! Excuse me! Excuse
me! But yes, I understand I changed up the dynamic of the entry a little bit this trip just because I'm supposed to be getting ready for a scene. Nico, I need to go get a haircut. As you can tell, I've already gotten a little tan from being in Brazil. I'm no longer in New York City, winter, all that stuff. But that's not what you're here for. But before we get started, if you like this kind of content, make sure to follow me on patreon.com/Nicosaesthetics for more exclusive lives, weekly videos, be a part of the podcast, which should be airing. I brought my laptop with me, so I will be able to upload the episodes when I do the live stream this week on Patreon. So we should have at least another month to 2 months worth of content coming out next week. But that's not what you're here for. But if you're also interested in my other platform where you get to see me be fly, sexy, and cool, you know, that's also up there with tons of new content coming, girl. I'm working back to back to back. Bus, plane, another bus, another plane, another club. It's just, oh, that's not what you're here for. Let's get started. So today, we are here to discuss Malik Joseph and how he needs to be in prison. Nico, I rarely come on here and tell y'all somebody needs to be locked up in the penitentiary, but there is another story of Malik Joseph attacking somebody. So let's go back to the previous situations that Malik Joseph has had that I have documented in a long, lengthy series, and I'm still surprised why people are still working with him. So first and foremost, he has like the robot off of Futurama to knockout. That was documented. They both admitted it. We had the proof of the injury. Secondly, when Elijah Wilde allegedly hit a pipe, you know what the YT girlies usually do, in his restroom, Malik, instead of asking him to leave like a sound human being, tried to Beyonce, boom, you know, bat, bat, bat. I can't say the words, but if you know that meme, you know that meme. If I can find it, I'll put it into here because that was a hilarious clip. Beyonce! But basically, he tried to take him out with artillery in the middle of a collab with Grandy Glaze and I Am Tanks in Love. So that was documented. He admitted it, and then nobody did anything, so we moved. There's been countless videos of Malik Joseph getting into bar fights, getting knocked over the head with bottles, fighting people, and y'all are still working with him. Nico, and this isn't a jealousy thing because I had the opportunity to work with him. When I started OnlyFans and I was blowing up recently, I checked my DMs and he asked me to work with him. And I'm just sitting here like, first and foremost, I'm sure you know who I am, as in I've discussed your situation a few times. Secondly, bitch, do I look crazy? Do I look like somebody that will work with a bitch that's stabbing people and shooting at them? So we move. Now, the current situation, Milan Christopher. Nico, who is Milan Christopher? I can't tell you. I think somebody said he was on Love and Hip Hop one season. He was on the Bad Boys show with Zeus. He got his friend's ass whooped while he hid in a bush. I remember that. I've never watched the show, but I remember that clip on Twitter. Outside of that, I don't know what he does. I think I've had this conversation in a video before and we all collectively went, it's up in the air. So Milan Christopher was trying to piggyback on the hard work and success that another woman, Natalie Nunn, has piggybacked off of by copying Bad Girls Club, making her own version, and now Milan Christopher wanted to make his own version of the Bad Boys Club, but he was contractually not able to because he did not read his contract saying that he cannot be in another reality TV show until a certain amount of time has passed. Nico, the fact that I have that memorized, we move. So Milan Christopher made this show bootleg, budgeted. I remember I saw clips of the quote-unquote auditions and it was just random people getting into fights. He hired Malik Joseph to be on this show. Nico, he hired Malik Joseph to be on this show, and as you can already assume, things went left. Things went left. Nico, what happened? So, allegedly, Malik Joseph and somebody at the bar where they were filming got into it. I have the video of somebody that was there basically retelling the story, and I also have the video of the victim, but let me just go into further detail before I show you. So basically, Malik Joseph got into it with someone named... The person is named Quan. In the video, I said Vinnie Watson because the bar that it happened at belonged to Vinnie Watson, but I'm correcting it now, Quan. While they were recording Bad Boys Atlanta, Milan Christopher's ghetto spin-off, and in that altercation at the bar, they went back and forth, they talked their shit, and then they separated. So Malik then went back to his car to get a knife, and then went to confront the boy and said, get out the car, let's fight. So the boy gets out the car thinking it's about to be a fair fight, and Malik starts shanking him. Malik starts shanking him to the point that he stabbed him 11 times. The man was bleeding profusely, open wounds, cut open the wound, like it was literally, you can see into his body. Chest cavity, arms, and the man was rushed to the hospital.
There's no pictures in here, so you gotta go. Stop. I know, I need to have to make a video.
And now everyone's still collectively going, why are you not in prison again? Nico, somebody said he was locked up prior. I'm not surprised. Why are you not in prison again? I genuinely do not understand. I mean, I understand that in our community, we have this code of no snitching, but bitch, you stabbed somebody 11 times and you're still walking? Like, you're still walking free in these streets? This is absurd. And I'm just so perplexed because I understand pretty privilege has its bonuses. I understand pretty privilege, you can get away with a lot. To me, Malik is not really that pretty. Secondly, pretty privilege should not allow you to be able to stab and shoot multiple people and you just go about your day. I just don't understand it, because when he was confronted about this, he's admitted prior that he's done these things because they messed with my money. They messed with my family. I had to handle them. I remember doing a video on that too, and I'm just sitting here like, what could you have possibly done in a bar that will warrant you premeditatingly going back to your car after the argument and coming back and wanting to stab him? Like, what could possibly be happening? And as always, I'm going to bring you the recount of the person that was there, the video, credits to Big O Recap. And after that, I will pose this question.
If you're protecting yourself, that means you got away. That means you're able to get away. If you're able to get away and come back, that means it's premeditated. That means you went to go get a knife and came back. It could have been over with had he just kept leaving. He walked back over there, and there was nobody at the car besides me and the Quan. And by the Quan time to let Quan let his window down, Malik was like, okay, bitch, so get out the car. Let's do it. The boy jumped out the car, and they started fighting. I guess Malik swung a good 3 times, and those 3 times is when he cut him. But when he backed up like, yeah, bitch, that's why I cut you. And I looked in his hand. There's a little black knife, and then I looked back at Quan, and he was bleeding blood. So I was already paranoid from the police then. I don't do police. But I could not tell that he had nothing in his hand until he backed up, and the knife was about this little. It was so motherfucking little. It was a little black pocket knife. Yeah. And then after that, I just took him to Piedmont Hospital, and I had to continue my night. I think it had something to do with just really being inebriated, honestly. They really, one, they don't know each other at all. That was their first time ever seeing one another. So to just also have an altercation, it lets me know that, you know, people were drunk. They both were drunk. They both were going back and forth about nothing. Malik said something about that's why people be dying out here now, because people out here scamming people. And when he said something about dying, I guess it probably bothered Quan. So Quan was like, don't say nothing about dying, because he lost a couple of his family members this year, like his dad, his brother, and some other people. And I guess it triggered him. After it triggered him, I don't know. Malik was like kind of like not want to fight, but it was just a lie. It was just a lie. It was a lie. It was too much blood. It was too much arguing. It was a lie.
My question is, when is it going to be enough? When do you think Malik is going to finally go to prison forever, where he deserves to be? Nico, I believe in police reform. I believe in prison reform. I believe in changing the entire justice system, because it's clearly like one-sided and not meant for people of color. But in this situation, you need to be off the streets. And it's very rare that I just say you need to be off the streets. Like there's no need for rehabilitation, bitch. You need to go ASAP, that away, under the jail. But yes, I want to hear your opinions as well. How long do you think he can get away with continuing to maim people? I mean, it's not even like just a simple fist fight no more. He's maiming people. But yes, I definitely want to hear your opinions down below. And bitch, that collab would never happen. I'm sorry, just based off of principle and based off my own safety, that would never happen. Ever. But yes, I will see you guys next time. Sorry for the rant. I'm busy at work and I had to come over here and talk about Malik Joseph in a different country. I'm over it, but yes. Boop. And now for a brief yet sincere shout out to this week's third eye tier subscribers, Kenneth and Defrin W. Your continued support is greatly appreciated, and thank you once again to everyone who supports the channel. And unfortunately, since I do not have my recording equipment this week's live stream will be a virtual hangout. So if that sounds interesting to you, definitely come in and tune in and key with the girls.